Look, that's you. Hi, I'm interviewing my grandpa, Jim Christensen, who has lived through World War II and many other historical events. So, you moved to the United States right before World War II happened, right?
I was born in the United States.
Did you ever live in Denmark?
Yes. I don't remember why, but I moved back. I
Mother?
lived in the borough of Brooklyn.
Well, if you lived in Denmark, do you think your life would be different?
I think so. I
Would it
wouldn't
live-
have to learn a foreign language. Make it easier. The kids would tease you when you were a foreigner, which is what I was. Actually, I went to kindergarten twice because I couldn't speak English.
So how do you think your life would have been different during World War II in Denmark?
Well, you're in an occupied country. One of my mother's brothers, he served in the underground as a courier. No violence in what they did. They didn't kill anybody or shoot anybody, and would carry messages that they thought was of value to the Allies.
When this was happening in April of 1945, do you remember your reaction or your mother's reaction when hearing that Adolf Hitler committed suicide?
No, she wouldn't have known. You went and plugged in something and got information from all over the world.
Do you think being so young impacted your understanding of what was going on in the world and the war?
I don't know. I didn't have any friends. I came over here on the ship, but
You were
she
not
went
an
back
immigrant.
and forth several times. And she also flew an airplane from
Germany.
And Helsingør. Helsingør is the town north of Copenhagen that my mother lived in.
Well, when you were little living in the United States, did you know that there was a world war going on?
Yeah, well, yeah. I knew there was a war. I knew what war meant, killing of people, but no details. I'm not even sure that there's detail among those people who lived in Denmark.
But do you remember some of the things that happened during the war? Like I remember we didn't have sugar and you couldn't get gasoline.
I remember butter. The
That's
butter,
marsh.
you put a pill in it and they switch
It
it up
wasn't butter, it was margarine.
and it turned yellow.
And that's how it made it look like butter. When you bought
Ew.
margarine years ago, it was
Yeah.
a little pill and it
That's
had
right.
coloring in it.
The
And you
AAP was
squeezed
right
it.
across the street.
So the one thing that he would remember was that they had coupons to get sugar and butter, gasoline you couldn't buy easily.
Yeah, but my folks could care less. They didn't drive.
Right, but sugar and butter affected you. Coupon
Oh,
books.
dude, we have some of them. They come in postage stamp.
Right, that's
And
just what they
a
look
little
like.
booklet that you take home, and then you go to the store and you shop and you give out so many coupons, and the person would have enough coupons to buy butter. But they had a lot of cows.
Where were you when you heard that the war was over?
You said that when you were on the bus going to Ebbets Field, you heard that the war was over.
Oh, I went back to the apartment because I changed into Boy Scouts. I did not go to the game. I wonder if I went to see my mother at Antlers. That's a restaurant. When I heard about the end of the war, the paper was packed with everyone was out having partying and celebrating the completion of the Second World War. Weeks later, there was a big parade. All the soldiers now were coming back. Had to go someplace. The military had a parade up and down Wall Street, and you could see soldiers, not just the Army, the Navy, Marines, Coast Guard.
Do you remember how you celebrated the news when you heard that Germany surrendered?
Everybody celebrated.
But did you?
We just went out in the streets. People just walked around, smiling, talking to each other.
I mean, this is a real war. These things they have now are, I don't know, different. You get one a week. Then back then we get one every 4 years.
So, after the war had ended, Europe was in an economic downfall. So, do you remember the measures that America had to take to help rebuild Europe's economy?
There's a thing called the Marshall Plan.
Well, the Marshall Plan basically gave a lot of money to Europe to help their economy.
That's correct.
And you said it worked really well?
Oh, look at Europe now.
Well, thank you for this interview. I found it very insightful, and it was great hearing your perspective on the war.
Wave to the camera.